Welcome everybody, this is a new style of video that I want to do. We are going to be discussing various topics in Fortnite Zero Build. This is an unscripted type of video, so yeah, just let me know what you might want me to discuss next in the comments. Please like and share with a friend, and subscribe if you want to see more. So let's jump in with the Avatar Mythic. So these are like the newest things that were added into the game with the Aang Battle Pass. So we'll start with the weakest one, the Fire. Fire is, while it's weak, it's not completely useless. I have died to it a couple times in very close range situations where I'm trying to shotgun somebody and they're just kind of like jumping around and it's hard to hit them. So it can be useful, but I still think just a regular shotgun is better. And in both those twice that happened, and in both of those instances, I was already like a little weak first. So yeah, and at range, the Fire is just too slow and too weak, and it doesn't really work like that. It's more of like a melee kind of in your face combat attack. I've been playing a lot of Goku lately, so seeing Goku like kind of punch and kick and do all the fighting moves does look kind of cool, but that's about where that one ends for me. The Earthbending Mythic though is kind of interesting. It reminds me of the ice wall that we had back in chapter 4 season 4, although you can't place more than one. However, you can use it as like a offensively, which is nice. I hear it has 300 structure damage, which I haven't really tried to use it to break people's structures, but that sounds cool. I like that as a concept. I don't really play a lot of builds, but I always like the things that break builds because I'm not a great builder. So, that's my go-to strategy when playing build mode. But the cover of it is not quite as good as the ice wall. You can only do one. You can still use it to negate fall damage, which is nice, but overall, I'm probably not going to really be using this one very much. I haven't been already. The Airbending Mythic, however, now that one is worth using. So this is like some of the most busted movement I think we've seen yet, honestly, because it just goes forever. Like the wings are great because they can go anywhere, but they're on like that timer with the 100 usage, and they're on like the little 100, whatever you want to call it, whatever units you would call it. But the air bending, you can just literally go forever. It's on a cooldown once you switch away from it, 15 seconds, which is still really, really short. But the fact that you can just kind of go with it forever is pretty wild. It has the double jump, which is useful as well. But yeah, it's pretty good. You can't block any shots with it. You're going to get shot right through it. So it doesn't have the most cover. But in terms of just general traversal, very good. And I have found myself carrying this instead of my Flowberry Fizz at times. More like early game when I'm trying to get around, but then I'll drop it later game when I like really need heals. And Flowberry just goes so well with the shockwaves and EMPs, as you guys have seen before. So yeah, but airbending is actually worth using, worth picking up, and I like it a lot. Waterbending is still the best. Waterbending was good, then it got buffed. Waterbending was good, then it got to... Actually, waterbending was mediocre when it came out. I'll say that. It was only at like a 6 meter or 6.25 meter, I think, hit scan, and now it's at like 25 meters, which is just crazy. The damage got buffed, and yeah, it actually hits really hard now, although it was hitting decently before as well. So waterbending is still really good. The passive effect of getting heals, white heals when you're in water, is also extremely good because who plays white heals right now? I think the only time that I've ever played white heals was during chapter 5 season 1 when the medallions were at their strongest and it only took one to get up to 100 blue health. So yeah, I'm not going to be carrying white heals, and the water bending mythic is the only time I really have it. Let's talk about the Reaper sniper rifle. It's still too common, still too good in close range, and I still want the gun just removed, honestly. They made the gun more rare. I put that in like air quotes because they removed the green rarity and the blue rarity, which means you are going to find it less often. But all that means is you're going to find the purple and gold one more often, which is just a very silly decision to me. And then they just keep adding NPCs that sell sniper rifles. Like they just added a new one to the dock outside of Fencing Fields. I do not get why they keep... what is the point, bro? What is the point of removing the rarity and then adding a consistent source of it right there? I mean, I have been so over the sniper rifle. It's been nerfed dramatically. It's still really powerful. You're not getting hit quite as often from long range. You're not getting headshotted quite as often from medium range. But in medium to short range, the body shot is still free. It's still easy to hit someone out of the air with it. I just clip someone. I'm playing mouse and keyboard for my very second game ever, and I got a headshot out of someone midair. Like the gun is still, and we were at like 50 meters out. The gun is still too damn easy to use. It's still too powerful. It's still too common. Please get it out of the game. It's honestly ruining the meta. It's been ruining the meta since literally the first day of the game, or since the first day of the new chapter. So I I'm over it. I'm done with it, man. Like, I love Fortnite. I love the game. I love a lot of stuff about it. But, man, this sniper rifle is not it. Get this thing out. All right, this one's a little weird one, but it's a topic that I want to discuss, and I don't really have anywhere else to talk about it. So that's why I like having a video format like this. So there are what I call flowberry bushes. They're outside of fencing fields. I spend a lot of time at fencing fields because I have to land there. Medusa sells shockwaves. It's an easy rotation point. All that good stuff. The bushes outside of outside of fencing fields, the ones that grow the flowberries, are changing every day in terms of if you can drive through them or not with a car or a G-Wagon. And it's just bothering me. So Epic, make a decision. I do not care. I do care. Make it so you can drive through them, honestly. But that makes the game more fun, in my opinion. Like, less stoppage equals more fun. Make it so you can just drive through them freely. I like that. But if you're gonna make it so that you get stopped by them every time you hit one, make that consistent. If you folks have been playing this game for the last week, and if you go to fencing fields often as I do, you will have noticed that these things change literally every day. Sometimes I play in the morning and they're one way, and then I play again at night and they're a different way. I don't know why this is happening, but please make a decision already, Epic. Make them so we can just drive through them or not. Doesn't matter. Just choose one way and leave it that way for the entirety of the chapter, please. Okay, now here's a bit of an odd one. So we had this happen during Chapter 5 Season 1 after the TMNT event was over. Between that time and when Chapter 5 Season 2 dropped, it was about 10 days. And we had this again between the Midas event and the Avatar event. I think that the time between events needs to be handled a little bit differently. I really like that we're going from the Avatar event to the Star Wars event that's going to be coming up. We'll talk about that one next. But once between the Midas event and the current Avatar event, all they really did was they removed golden chickens, the Midas terminals, the Midas drum gun, and then a few NPCs around the map that were in Midas's crew. One of them, of course, being Jules, who sold shockwaves, and she was at a very convenient location right next to the underworld. So that was really annoying, in my opinion, to remove because they didn't add anything. They just took stuff away. I don't like when they just take stuff away. When they took away the TMNT mythics and the drift board and such, like, that was a lot of movement. That was really nice. The pizzas were really nice heals, and they just took it away. And so the game, to me, always feels a little bit more hollow and just less fun. I have no other way to word it when they simply take things away that they could have left in the game for longer. I don't know if they have some like deal with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle people and they're like, hey guys, you better get these mythics out of the game after 3 weeks. You know, I don't care about your new season happening 10 days later. You leave them in a day longer and you're never getting, you know, Casey Jones in the next update. Please give us Casey Jones in the next update. If you guys ever do another TMNT, that'd be sick. But my point is the time between events needs to be a little bit more, have a little more, it needs to be a little more robust. That's what I'm looking for. It needs to be a little more content driven. Like, just don't take stuff away. Link the events next to the new events coming up, like they're doing with this Star Wars update. So if you guys have been on the game the last couple days, you would have seen that they have a Star Wars update that's coming in May 3rd, which is when the Avatar event ends, and that's great. So let's take a moment to speculate what's going to happen for this event. I've heard a few people talk about they're expecting a Chewbacca skin, which would be cool. Chewbacca would be a great skin to have in the game. I'm surprised we don't have that yet, honestly. I haven't really been up to date with every Star Wars event we've had. I mean, I know we've had, what, like 5 of them at least, I'm sure. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect. The only thing that I'm asking for is please do not bring back the last lightsaber we had, which was in Chapter 4, Season 4. It had Force Push. It was super annoying. And that's just the one force ability that I do not want in the game right now. Endgame was nothing but people trying to force push you into the zone. And right now, with a lot of these mountainous endgames, it would work really well. And we don't have things like a grapple blade or wings or things to just like negate that. So we have Cerberus dashes. Cerberus dashes might actually be a good way to negate a force push. I'm not sure how that interaction would work. But I really don't want that one ability in the game. Now, there was an ability at one point where you could like pick up stuff and throw it. Like if there was nothing around you, just pick up like rocks and ground and throw it. You could pick up trees and throw them. You could pick up cars and throw them. That one was sick. Bring back that one. I know there was one where you could throw your lightsaber. We were talking about that in chat earlier today. Shout out to the people who reminded me of it. I'm sorry, I forget. I think it was Ben. who reminded me of that one. You could do like a force, like a saber throw, which is like a force ability where you basically turn your lightsaber into a boomerang, and it'll be spinning the entire time. Like, that's classic, you know, Star Wars technique. Love it. You know, bring that into the game. I don't really care, honestly, but just no force push, dude. No force push, please. I like Star Wars. I know there's some people who are like, I don't like the Star Wars events, yada yada, but like, I like Star Wars. I've always been a huge Star Wars fan. Disney obviously ruined it, but yeah, I'm always gonna be happy to see Star Wars stuff. So hopefully they do the event good, and I'm just really excited that they are going to be linking it right after the Avatar event. So very, very happy for that. Overall, at this point in time, I feel like it's reasonable to give a current, this is kind of like, not the end of the episode, but the current state of the game rating. And I'm going to give the game right now a 6 out of 10 rating. And here's what we could do if you wanted to get an even 10 out of 10. Like, this is like where I think the game is right now. And this is from here on forward where I'd like to see the game to go. And yeah, then we'll just wrap this up. So to get it to a 10 out of 10, I've been asking for this the whole time. I haven't asked for it for a while because I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. But can we get more mod benches, please? Okay. In Season 1, you could beat a boss, and you could be in the vault, modding your gun within literally 90 seconds, you know? Just get, like, I think one of the easiest ones to do would probably be, like, go to Lavish Lair, you know, speedrun Oscar, the vault is right there, and you could be modding your guns immediately. So clearly, it wasn't a big enough deal that we couldn't mod our guns within the first 2 minutes of the game. So please give us some mod benches back. We also had all of the mini POI mod bench vaults that were just secretly and silently vaulted. The vaults were vaulted, guys. The benches that were inside the vault were vaulted last season. The one, not at the Mythic and Boss POIs, but the other ones that were spread throughout the map. There's no reason why these vaults can't have mod benches. Every one, every single time. Bunkers are great. Leave them as is if you want to, but add in more stuff. And if you're not going to do that, then bunkers are not great. Bunkers actually kind of suck. Make bunkers open up earlier. Have them open up in Storm 1. Who cares, bro? Because you have towers in Storm 2, so don't mess with Storm 2, Zone 2. Zone 2 is perfect. Okay, you got the tower that comes in. You've got the beginning of the game, and then the third zone, we had the combat cache, which was then, you know, removed for the bunkers. But like, combat cache is fine. Like, bring us something for Zone 3, but Zone 1 needs to have some way to mod your gun. It needs to be fun. If you want the game to be 10 out of 10, if you want to keep your game 6 out of 6, leave it as is. Hello, post-production Anthony here. Obviously, I meant 6 out of 10. Okay, back to the episode. But if you want this game to be 10 out of 10, it needs to have more mod benches. That's just my opinion. I would also like to see more quality of life features. These are things that I've once again asked for numerous times, but don't want to beat a dead horse. Keys and hollow chests spread throughout the map was always fun. Always fun to pick up keys. Always fun to go to a hollow chest and get a purple or gold gun. Just see what was in the hollow chest. Like, you be like, ooh, I found a key. Let's see where the nearest hollow chest is and what I can get out of it. Or even just some good heals or whatever. You know, you could give us like Flowberry Fizz out of it. Who cares? Bring hollow chests and keys back. Augments. Who doesn't want augments back? I'm sure there's a handful of people who are like, that was too much, but I love the augment system. I think more is better. Give us augments back, please. I know you guys had them in the game epic, so bring them in. No reason not to. And I don't really complain about the sprint very often, and I know a lot of people do not like our current stamina slash sprint, and I think the biggest reason why people complain about it now and not the way that it was in Chapter 4 Season 4, even though it's the exact same right now as it was in C4S4, is the fact that we had slap items back then. We have next to no slap on the map right now. We've got barrels, maybe like 20 barrels spread throughout the entire map. If we could have just slap splashes back, that one item, I think, would make the entire game feel more fluid again. While I would still prefer to use flowberries most of the time, just having it as an option would be amazing. You know, you see it on the ground, click it, hit it, you know, you're now sprinting for 30 seconds, unfeathered. What is it? I said unfeathered. What's the word? Untethered? I don't know. Unfettered. I'm not editing that out. I'm leaving that in. But you would just be able to run freely, and it was great. So just put more slap back in the game. Doesn't matter. Love slap. So give us these old quality of life features back, please. Already asked for this once before, but get the Reaper out of the game. That'll help make it 10 out of 10. Just remove the gun. Remove it. Okay, that's it. I was gonna ask for the auto frenzy to be removed, but I actually think it's in kind of a nice position right now. Very long reload time, poor range. The speed has been nerfed a little bit. 2.2 shots per second is still very, very fast. You compare it to like the tactical shotgun, Maven shotgun, infiltrator pump of the past. Like, those are still fast shotguns, and the auto frenzy still just destroys it. So you can leave it in as is. That's fine. But my request is buff the hammer pump. Please give it higher damage output and a headshot multiplier that actually makes it feel like it's worth using. So that is my one request. Make the pump great again, please. I feel like a solid pump meta would make it so that people don't feel like they can automatically just carry a sniper rifle all the time. People would probably still just pump switch to like a Warforged, which is fine, but I don't know. Make the pump good. Make the pump good, please. Or at the very least, like, the Gatekeeper wouldn't just be like the solidified best gun in the game, shotgun-wise, because spammy shotguns just feel silly. I don't know. I think pump switch is a very... I'm not good at it. I don't love it, but I think it's a really cool feature that Fortnite has that no other shooting game that I've ever really played has as much, where you just pump switch, and keep going back and forth. So make the pump good again. Also, I don't know why you guys did this, Epic. I think this was really petty, but make the flow effect last 10 seconds again. If it was like for a competitive, I don't know, man. Like, how bad was competitive really getting affected by this? Because I feel like that's the only reason why you would have changed this. 5 seconds just feels kinda weak, man. And if you really gotta change it, how about 7 seconds? How about 7.5 seconds? How about we go like right in the middle? But going right in half, that was a little rough. That was a little rough and unneeded. So if we could just get the flow effect back to 10 seconds, I think that'd be cool. I never felt like it was overpowered. I don't think anyone felt it was overpowered. Just revert it, please. And this will be my last point before we end the video, but this one is kind of a big one, and I'm sure you folks, if you've played at all during this season, you have noticed this, but the underworld dashes are too OP. I'm not really talking about the Cerberus medallion in general, although it is by far the best medallion. Check out our medallion video if you want to see how we feel about all the medallions and how to use them. But the underworld dashes when you're just near the green water is too good. You get someone down weak, and all they do is start dashing around and running, and like you can literally run forever until the zone storm comes in and says, okay, you can't be here anymore without taking damage. But if someone can be near that green water, they will be dashing, and it's just too busted of a mechanic. I think the quickest, easiest, most logical solution would be you get 3 dashes. If you use 3 dashes, you're on like a 5-second cooldown, 10-second cooldown, even a 2-second cooldown, something, so they have to sit still in that damn water and can't just dash around a literal 100+ times. Like, I'm not joking. That's not a hyperbole. People will dash over 100 times, and I don't feel like that was the intention of the area. I feel like it's cool that there's a lot of little puddles and like a lot of little areas in which you can recharge your dashes, but I don't think it should be used to link together consistent movement where you're just like impossible to hit, because you need to dash to keep up with the person. We have projectile bullets now. We're not hit scanning anybody, so I think that one part of the map is actually a little bit ruined by just spammy running around, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. These are my general thoughts right now of Chapter 5 Season 2. Still love the game, still playing it all the time. We just got an Azeron. We're practicing more now than ever because, I actually figured now is like a very good time for me to switch my gaming input method, because while I'm not enjoying the season the most, I still want to be sharp, I still want to be ready, and we still want to be improving so that when hopefully Season 3 rolls around and there's no more Reaper in the game, please take the Reaper out. Season 3 is coming on May 24th, and I've actually never really been looking forward to a new season this early. I've been counting the days down for about a few weeks now, and yeah, it's like Christmas to me because I really want this meta to change. I'm not loving it. I feel like the meta didn't even really change that much between Season 1 and Season 2. They changed the medallions, they changed some POIs, but the auto frenzy is still very prominent, and up until like 2 weeks ago, it was still pretty much the best shotgun in the game, and the Reaper is still too dominant. So yeah, we'll end it at that. Thank you all so much. If you made it this far, love you all as always. You guys know the drill. Please give us a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Have a good one.